a lot of well-intentioned, very good business people in the chamber, but if your director and your staff people aren't capable of handling these tasks, you don't get anywhere. And so I think 2 years ago, we tried a little pilot project and we said, okay, chamber, we're going to give you more money and we want you to do these things. Well, guess what? 2 years later, you didn't do any of it. In fact, they sent out information that wasn't even the correct one to do it, so that program never took off. But they did get the funds. Now, I envision this as going, this is my vision. At some point, there needs to be some type of industry group that is leading this economic development effort for the city. And it can't be at the whim of whoever's elected. And, I'm elected, but it can't be at the desires or the agendas or whatever the people sitting up here think should be economic development. There's certain roads and there's certain things you need to take care of first as a foundation. Everything else is just, it enhances it, it helps it, it assists it, it makes it easier, but there's certain things that need to be put in place which for some reason we just haven't been able to do. And I think this is the right step. There is one at the county level, the regional ADC, but their goal is to go out even further than just here in Mexicali and to try to entice people to come out. But once they get here, we need the people like Francisco to say, okay, now you're with me, you're mine for the rest of the day. I'm going to show you what Calexico can do for you. And for so long, this whole county, you can talk to anybody in the EDC, they're forming an international committee, they're doing all this stuff, because they haven't really tied into Mexicali. They haven't been able to do it. For one, because they don't know anybody. And those that have interactions across the border can understand that a lot of it's who your friends are, who knows, who that person can ask about you and whether or not they can trust you. And so this trust factor is something we have right now with Francisco as a staff person for the city to be able to at least open the door. And I know that some of the council coming in have more of the professional and the business relationships, but that doesn't trickle down to what the staff people and what the nonprofit with other private sector folks can get involved in and can do. So the answer to what happens in 2 years if we don't have funds, well, that thing dies. But right now we don't have anything. So I'd rather take a risk, and it's not $200,000 a year, by the way. It's a lot of it's in kind, like his salary, staff time, that sort of thing. I think it's actually an actual injection of $100,000 in cash for a 2-year period. And I think there's ways to do using the RDA now that allows for this particular type of activity to be done. But again, our budget numbers are crying for us to do something. And the only way to do something is to formalize this type of program. And a lot of cities that are successful and that their unemployment rates are below 5% have this type of activity. So we're not recreating anything. We're just modeling it after successful programs. A lot of bigger regions have this type of program. I mean, one of my good friends runs a 10-county regional economic development corporation. And the past 3 jobs that he's had have been 8 to 10 counties, and he's done it very well. But a lot of his success is he spends most of his time talking to cities within the counties and helping them structure what we're doing now. Because unless this is structured first, it doesn't matter what type of wishes you have. If once you get somebody to come out here and they just fall through the cracks because there's no follow-up, there's no lead prospect management system so that they can follow through the project, it's not successful and it dies, and all the good intentions that the private sector has just go. So I think these are good discussions to have. And I think if we just continue to follow what have been successful models, you'll be able to see that this kind of thing works. We've never had it before, that's why it's new to some of us, but they are successful models.
Okay, my name's Al. Real quickly, because we've got a planning commission coming up here. I also guess Roxanne wants to say a few words. I think that's what she's here. I completely support the commission. It does concern me, the funding. I agree with David, I agree with Mr. Pacheco, is that this shouldn't be RDA funded or city funded. We brought in Mr. Gutierrez, which we brought him in with a lot of confidence. He was supposed to start economic development, marketing for a city. And I think we should give him an opportunity. He's only been here, I believe, probably 2 months at the most. I get a little concerned when we try to duplicate, work that's already being done. What we need to do, when we talk about red tape is not in the city council. Red tape is with your staff. So that's where we start with communication. If there's red tape that a developer or an investor is feeling that he's running into walls when he comes into Calexico, this is where everything needs to be facilitated. So the economic development should start with your leader, which is your city manager, and it trickles down to the staff. So I believe our communication should be there. Our communication should be the city manager, staff. We need to embrace economic development. Also, as part of our marketing plan, Calexico doesn't have a brand. And when I say a brand, Mexicali has a brand. Their brand is aerospace, and that's what they've been promoting. We're trying to go in many different directions, but we're not focused on any direction. So I think we need to work with what we have. We have a very good economic development commission. And we talk about the Chamber of Commerce. Most of our economic development commission is from the Chamber of Commerce. So again, we need to be cautious. It needs to be city controlled. Your economic development needs to be city controlled, not put in the hands of other people. And any of these stakeholders in our city that want to promote a commission that's a nonprofit, let them put the money on the table. And I think that will get the drive, and you'll get the people. Anybody that puts money on the table on a nonprofit, you'll see the real stakeholders, and you'll see the real promotion happen. Again, we have IBEDC. We need to talk to them and not have them not promote the North End and look at the South End of Calexico. Because I believe, like David has mentioned in the past, we are the jewel of the county. We're the border town. We have 80,000 people coming into Calexico daily. Our logistics is perfect for any company, any investor coming in. So it should be able to sell itself. So reevaluate your 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, whatever you're going to be getting. You already have staff. We have Roslyn, we have Julia, we have Mr. Gutierrez. Let's concentrate with them and really give them a business plan. And I'm a little upset that we didn't see a business plan today of the commission. It would have been good, because that way we would have probably got a little sense of security on how the money would be spent. But again, everything begins with the city of Calexico, with your city manager, staff, and also the mayor should be your biggest promoter. And I know we have a good promoter, and the next mayor is an excellent promoter. They have very strong economic development backgrounds. Thank you.
Thank you. Ross, very quickly, or do you have anything to add to that? We're going to have to adjourn here pretty quick. Because it seems clear to me that this is going to be tabled and direction provided to come back to the information. It seems to, or a presentation, I think.
Roxanne, first of all, I want to say, I think we're all on the same page when we want economic development. But I won't repeat what's being said, but what I would like to know is how the enterprise zone is going to be incorporated in the Calexico Economic Development Corporation. And in the strategic plan, there might be a way that we can use the resources from the enterprise zone, and which is supposed to be covering Calexico, absolutely be supportive of the truth. The second thing is, if the majority of the people don't want a separate investor-related economic development corporation, then we could look at the model of McAllen, Texas, and Reynosa, that has an economic development corporation that has a contract with the city, that links, it doesn't take investor-related money. And I would just ask council for us to have a strategic plan, take some time, come up with a blueprint, and see what kind of options are out there to satisfy everyone. So I think everyone's on the right track. I'm just hoping that we can all spend a little bit more time researching. Okay.
David,
closing comment, Ralph, as city manager, you have the responsibility to stimulate the economy, the redevelopment agency, and this is a task for you. This is why you get paid $150,000 a year. We ask you that you take this responsibility and come with ideas better than this. Thank you.